Welcome back to yet another map video where we take a look at the best maps I found and created, so let's get started. Well, starting off with the first one, here it is, the most popular sport in every single country. Yeah, alright, soccer is dominating the world, but what about basketball in China? What the hell?
Huh?
Take a look at this. Countries in orange drive on the left, meanwhile countries in blue drive on the right. Yeah, 70% of the world drives on the right, but it's mostly South African and countries near Indonesia that drive on the left. What about your country? I'm serving my time right now in the Estonian army, and here are all the countries that have a mandatory military service. You know, while most of the countries have a military, Iceland is just chilling there with their freaking volcanoes. Alright, you car freaks, here's a map for you. The world's top selling car brands in Europe in 2022. And while we can't see the most selling car brand in Monaco, it is Mercedes and Porsche. Yeah, what a surprise, right? Another map of Europe, because you like it. The highest mountain in every country. How fast can you find the country with the highest mountain in Europe? Well, if you didn't find it, it's Mount Elbrus in Russia with over 5,600 meters. This guy from Reddit called basically Callum created a map of Europe with cookies. How cool is that? And I must say, as a geography nerd, he did it pretty freaking well. Believe it or not, but this is the shortest route from Chile, Santiago to Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia. And what is even crazier is that this is almost a straight line. The largest foreign community in each country of Americas, the Chinese community in Canada, Mexicans in the United States and Americans in Mexico. Isn't that just perfect? Meanwhile, South America is just chilling there with themselves. And of course, the Chinese. I lived in South America for 1 year and I can tell you that the Chinese are probably gonna take over the continent soon. Another map of Europe, because I know you love them. This time it's the comparison of stop traffic signs in different European countries. It's all fun and games until... Are you closer to Georgia, the country, or are you closer to Georgia, the US state? And as an Estonian, I must say, I'm surprised that I'm closer to Georgia. Every color that you see contains about 10% of the world's population. But now theoretically, let's say, which color would win the world war? To be brutally honest, I think orange would win the battle. What you're seeing are the literal translations of country names all around the world. Probably the guy who did them just put the country name in Google Translation and got the answer. I don't know about how accurate these are. But I love that Finland is just land. Suomi perkele. We already talked about the mandatory military service. This time, what do European countries call their military forces? Now someone explain to me, why do people from Holland call their military forces war power? The most violent cities in the world. These are the cities with the most homicides per 100,000 inhabitants in 2022. Now, I'm as white as I could be and I went to Michoacán last year, and I can tell you that if you don't do anything stupid, nothing will happen to you. Probably. The comparison of the most popular browsers in the world in 2012 versus 10 years later in 2022. Yeah, Google Chrome has taken over the world. Here's a map of the United States showing the largest white ancestry in every US county. I actually didn't know that there was so much Finnish and Norwegian ancestry in northern United States. This is called Arabic colonialism. Compare these 2 years, 540 versus 2022. How crazy is that? Here's an illustration of Earth's continents that shows us what our world actually looks like. And every time you see something like this, it just blows your mind how huge Africa actually is. The size of the Roman Empire at its height compared to the United States. If you guess the exact year that Roman Empire looked like this, I will give you a heart in the comments. I will try, I promise. It once used to be the world's biggest empire, but now this is what's left of the United Kingdom and its allies. And now just imagine if all of those countries united in a one big empire. Bonjour le France, something for the French people. Here's the most common immigrant in every French region. How do you think this will all look like in, let's say, 15 years? The same map, but this time with Deutschland, the most common immigrant in every German region. Yeah, the Turkish really have taken over, haven't they? Here's the map you probably saw from the thumbnail if I didn't change it. Android versus Apple by continent. And as a dedicated cult member of Android, I must say I like what I'm seeing. How is your name written? In what order? Is it your first name plus surname? Or is it the other way around? Or is it your first name plus your father's name, like it is in Iceland? Take a look at this. An interesting map showing us the usual name order in every European country. Mamma mia, pizzeria, something for Italia. These are the 8 different ways to divide Italy. Everything from religion to whether Italians prefer butter or olive oil. You know what, while we already mentioned olive oil versus butter, take a look at this cool map. Which one do Europeans prefer, olive oil or butter? Most of Europe prefers butter. Meanwhile, the Mediterranean countries definitely like olive oil, don't you guys? Another example of how China is taking over the world. This map shows us the largest non-African nationality in each African country. Yeah, why do you think the Chinese are in Africa? The next FIFA World Cup will take place in Canada, Mexico and the United States. Here are all the cities, and this one guy on Reddit said, reminder that there is a round of 16 game in Philadelphia on July the 4th. Now just imagine if the US makes it and plays the game against England. This is a normal map of Antarctica versus compared to a map of Antarctica without any ice. And if we continue how we continue as humans, it will probably be like this in some 100 years. If you're still here, comment I love maps and I'll be happy, I guess. Also, you can join my Discord server. Go to Ask Zimbax and you might get an answer to your question. Okay, bye bye.